Hi everybody, welcome back to Cottoverdi. My name's Annette and today is February the 14th, which means I'm starting sweet peas. That's what Valentine's Day signifies to me every year. I start my sweet peas on this day and it seems to be the perfect date for me to get the sweet peas to the right state before I plant them out after the frosts have passed. Sweet peas can be started in the autumn, probably in October or November. I think the light levels are too low to start them in December or January, and the light levels are just about getting to the right spot mid-February for us to start them. I'm talking about where I live here in South Buckinghamshire in the UK, which is equivalent to a zone 8A. Obviously, light levels are going to differ depending on where you live in the world. First of all, I'm just going to chat a bit about sweet peas, then I'm going to go through the varieties that I'm sowing today, and then I'll show you how I'm sowing them, which is very simple, and then where I'm going to put them whilst I wait for them to germinate. There are only a few things to know about sweet peas. The first one is that mice and squirrels and all sorts of other critters will try and eat your seeds, and deer and rabbits are going to try to eat the really juicy, delicious young shoots. So you will need to protect them somehow whilst they're very young. The second thing is that a lot of people will grow sweet peas in things called root trainers, which are really tall, narrow pots that are specially designed for things that have a deep root run. So sweet peas have a deep root run. You don't have to invest in root trainers. I grow mine in 9cm pots, so that's 9 centimeters this way. That's about 3 inches. A lot of people also just use empty toilet rolls, and those are perfect because they will disintegrate and compost down in the soil. You could also fashion something out of newspaper by wrapping it around a jar and then create your own little pot that way. Basically, use anything to hand. You don't need a special root trainer as long as your pot is tall enough. It really isn't advisable to use anything that's too shallow, like a normal seed tray, just not going to be deep enough for your sweet pea to grow the roots that it wants to establish before you plant it out. The other great thing about sweet peas is that when you're growing them, once they've got 4 sets of leaves, it's possible to pinch out the top. And if that top is long enough, that top can then be rooted and you could have a second plant without having to have a second seed. Some seeds can be quite expensive. Also, sweet peas are treated as annuals. They will die back down to ground level and they will not reshoot again next year unless you grow the hardy perennial varieties. So the only difference between the annuals and the hardy perennials is that the annuals are the ones that are so sweetly scented with the most gorgeous perfume, whereas all the hardy perennials, as far as I know, every hardy perennial I've come across doesn't have a scent. They look exactly the same as the sweet peas that have a perfume. They don't come in as many colours at all, but they will come back every year. So if you want something that's going to look like a sweet pea, maybe on a back wall, that's going to grow to maybe 2 to 3 meters tall, then the hardy perennial sweet peas will be perfect. You're not going to get a fragrance, but if they're on a wall quite far away, you probably wouldn't notice that anyway. Something else worth mentioning is that my seed packets say to soak the seeds. A lot of people will soak the seeds. I think my seed packets say to soak them for 24 hours. This is absolutely not necessary. So I'm probably going against the grain here, but I know that Monty Don and Gardener's World does not soak his sweet peas. And last year I didn't soak my sweet peas either. So again, this year, I'm not going to be soaking my sweet peas. I will water my compost in once I've planted them, make sure that the compost stays moist while they're germinating, but it really doesn't make any difference time-wise whether they're soaked or not. They will just germinate anyway. Now, the reason that some people don't soak their seeds is twofold. Firstly, because it takes extra time, and secondly, because in soaking them, it reduces the protection that the hard seed coat is giving to the seed, and that way supposedly we could let in bacteria, the seeds could go soggy. I've definitely over soaked my seeds in the past and they went slimy and mushy. So I prefer, after last year's experiment, I prefer not to soak my seeds anymore. Some people also scarify their seeds, but if you don't know what you're doing and you're a beginner, then you could actually damage an important part of the seed in scarifying it. So it's best not to scarify your seeds. This is my policy on the matter. It's my thoughts on the matter. And obviously it's up to you whether you decide to soak your seeds or not, but it isn't necessary, in my opinion. Something else worth mentioning about sweet peas, in case you've never grown them before and you don't know, is that sweet peas really benefit from being picked. The more that you cut a sweet pea stem and pick the flowers to bring them inside or just to deadhead them, the more flowers you're going to get. And this is because if we leave the flower heads on the sweet pea plant, those flower heads will turn to seed, and that will signify the plant to start producing more seed. And we don't want it to do that. We want it to produce flowers. So if you keep taking away its opportunity to produce seed, you're just going to get more flowers. So you could have, quite a long bloom time with sweet peas just by maintaining the deadheading. Monty says to deadhead every 2 weeks. I possibly don't get round to it, but what I try to do is when I'm going for my evening walks in the summer is I just take a few stems. I always have my snips with me, and so they're kind of getting a regular prune. Now I'm going to go through the seeds that I'm sowing today. I've got 8 varieties of annuals, the scented sweet peas, and I have 4 varieties of the hardy perennials, so they won't be scented, and I'm going to sow all of those today. So I'm just going to go through the different varieties. I'll pop the name and a picture up on the screen so that you can take a look at what I'm sowing. A lot of the annuals that I'm growing today are specifically labelled as modern grandifloras, so they're going to have exactly the same sweet, delicious scent as the old-fashioned sweet peas, but they've been bred specifically so that they have larger flowers and longer stems. So they're great for cut flowers. I mean, obviously they're going to look fabulous in the garden as well. The first sweet pea is called High Society. I love that musical. So High Society is a pink pickety, so it's got white petals with frilly pink edges to it. The second one I'm growing is called Elisa. This is like a dusky salmony pink with cream. It's kind of got this real sort of vintagey style vibe. It's a little bit like a mother of pearl colouring. The next one I'm growing is called Piggy Sue. Piggy Sue is a cream colour with a light apricot-y pink edge to it. The next one I'm growing is called More Scent. This is incredibly highly fragrant. I think there's another sweet pea called High Scent. And this one, More Scent, is even more scented. So it's got a wonderful sweet pea scent, but it's going to have slightly smaller flowers. So this one is white with a sort of mauvey purple veining and edges to it. The next one I'm growing is called Rosy Frills, and it's got frilly cream petals with an apricot pink tinge to the edges. The next one I'm growing is called Patricia Marilyn. This is described as the palest soft icing sugar pink, a little bit like, a soft pink cotton candy colour. The next one I'm growing is called Bristol Cream, and this is a soft, creamy, yellowish white colour. The last annual I'm growing is called Spring Sunshine Champagne, and it's a really early variety, and it's a blend of soft cream and pink, a little bit like a very soft, light-coloured salmon. Then with the hardy perennials, the first one I'm growing is called Chilensis. It's pink-coloured and will grow to about 3 metres. The next one's called Sylvestris. It's also pink-coloured and it's going to grow to just under 2 metres tall. Then the next one is called Latifolius. It's also pink-coloured, I think slightly paler pink-coloured, and it will grow to 2.5 metres tall. The last one I'm growing is called Chloranthus, and I tried to grow this in previous years and I didn't pay enough attention to it and it dried out, unfortunately. But Chloranthus is kind of this yellowy greeny colour, so I really do want to have this one in my garden, and it's going to grow to about 1.5 metres tall. So now I'm just going to get on and sow them and show you how I'm going to do that. So with the sweet peas, I'm just going to make a hole about 1 centimetre deep in each one and then drop a sweet pea seed into it. And sweet pea seeds look like little balls, So they're super easy to sow. And then when I plant these out in the garden, I'm just going to take the whole pot, so all 3 plants will go in the same planting hole. So if you don't want to plant into pots, it's perfectly possible to sow your sweet peas direct into the ground outside, just like you would with an ordinary pea, like an eating pea. But as I mentioned before, the danger of doing that is that little critters might come along and eat your little baby shoots. With the hardy perennials, I've sown more than 4 seeds into each cell, but that's because the seeds are pretty old now. I've had them for maybe 3 or 4 years, so I just wanted to, firstly because I wanted to use the seeds up, but secondly because the germination rate is going to go down as the seeds get older. So then when I've sown them all, I'm just going to gently cover up the seeds. I'm now going to water my seeds in. I have not pre-moistened my soil. A lot of people will pre-moisten their soil. I just don't like to get all mucky and do that beforehand. I prefer to put dry soil, dry compost in my pots and then water everything in afterwards. You can bottle water them. I'm just too lazy to wait around for a 9 centimetre pot to bottom water itself, so I'm going to water them in with a watering can, and then I won't water them again until I see germination and they start growing and the compost looks dry. I'm not going to put them on heat mats and they won't have humidity domes over them. I'm just going to leave them on my kitchen windowsill or my kitchen counter because I've got skylights in my roof, and that's all they need. They need a bit of warmth and they need some light to germinate, and they should be up in a couple of days. It will take the hardy perennials longer to germinate, so that they could be a week or 2 behind. From my previous experience, that's what I've noticed. The other thing I've noticed with the hardy perennials is that not every seed germinates, and that could be to do with my seeds being a little bit older. I'm not sure. If you're interested in regular updates on all these seeds and all my other seedlings that I'm sowing this year, then do subscribe to my channel, because I am making a regular video giving updates on how long things have taken to germinate and how I'm treating each different variety of seed. Well, that's it for today. I really hope you've had fun with me on Valentine's Day. I know it's a difficult day for some people. Maybe change it to your sweet pea sowing day and then you'll always have some fun. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.